welcome to This Month in Warhammer Underworlds for August 2020. This is your one-stop shop for everything Warhammer Underworlds related, and once again there's been a lot of news for our favourite competitive arena combat game. As always, each news item will have its own timestamp in the episode description, which can be found below. Without further ado, let's get on with the show. This is something I didn't intend to talk about here, but A, my YouTube and blog audiences actually don't intermix too much, and B, the article and topic in question turned out being even more popular than my already very well-viewed review articles for the new Warbands. So yeah, I'm no longer a playtester for Games Workshop and Warhammer Underworlds as we have parted ways. I am not allowed to go on more than that, but I have my article linked in the episode description if you want to find out more. Once again, thanks to all my friends and viewers for all your support and encouragement. It really means a lot to me, so thank you. August saw a surprise release for Warhammer Underworlds and Warhammer 40,000, a supply drop which is totally not a loot box. I did an in-depth review for the Warhammer Underworlds supply drop, which you can find in the episode description for my blog. In general, the supply drop contains a 50% savings on random Warhammer Underworlds product and vice versa for the Warhammer 40,000 version. The contents also vary on territory, so what you get in the UK will be different to what you get in Europe, for example. As a limited product, it sold out very quickly. The UK contents were very underwhelming, consisting only of the Godsworn Hunt and the Champions of Dreadfanes as the only warband supplied in the supply drop. The Australian version was much better, offering several Nightvault warbands, including Garruk's Reavers, Mollog's Mob, and the Eyes of the Nine, in addition to the Godsworn Hunt and the Champions of Dreadfane warbands, which made the Australian supply drop a much better purchase overall. If Games Workshop do another supply drop for Warhammer Underworlds, hopefully it mirrors this Australian supply drop in terms of content, and not just seemingly being a warehouse stock clearance move. On to lighter news, the final warbands have been released, Morgok's Krushas and Morgwaeth's Blade-Coven. It has been a long wait due to the global pandemic, but it's great to finally see them out in the wild. My favourite are still Morgwaeth's Blade-Coven, from looks to overall design, but Morgok's Krushas look like they will face the Hrothgorn treatment with the next Forsaken and Restricted list. It's unfortunate that they excel more at being a turtle control warband than an aggro warband, but that's due to their insanely good defensive cards and characteristics, along with the current bulk of unrestricted universal cards, which are too strong to support the turtle control playstyle at the moment. Tournament data is kinda needed, but with the global pandemic, that is not likely. Still, there are some obvious cards that need restricting and even banning. Speaking of, Prescient Blow, an upgrade that will most likely be Forsaken. This upgrade, found in the Morgok's Krushas Warband expansion, reacts during an opponent's attack action before dice are rolled. When combined with Duelist Speed, it allows your equipped fighter to forever dodge range 1 attack actions from your opponent. However, when two Prescient Blows meet, the loop from them both reacting to each other goes off forever until one player decides not to take the reaction. People are feeling this card will be errated, but given Games Workshop's previous experience with similar cards, they are most likely and hopefully going to ban it. It's just an unforeseen interaction. I know some tournaments and groups are already either FAQing it, banning it, or hoping their players don't abuse it. Either way, Games Workshop needs to do something, but Warhammer Underworlds currently really needs a new Forsaken and Restricted list to make playing the game fun again. If you watched the Games Workshop Warhammer August preview stream, you would have heard that Season 4 has been announced as Direchasm. He bent over and I saw his Direchasm. Direchasm is a bad name, but Doomerin forever. Despite the name, Direchasm is looking to be a very interesting season. I'm impressed Games Workshop revealed so much instead of compared to last year, where with Beastgrave they just revealed the outline of the logo and a silhouette of a few miniatures. While the box art for Direchasm is a little off, it screams, "We have real elves now, not those forest elves none of you liked." I have to say that the miniatures look amazing, and I love the warband selection so far. Seeing the Lumineth Realm Lords alongside the much better Mortals of Slaanesh warband from my totally unbiased viewpoint is awesome. From what we've seen so far for the Slaanesh warband, it's shaping up to be truly stunning. I expect it to be some of Games Workshop's best work, just as with their new Slanesh models for Age of Sigmar, for which I own an army for. We even got to see a glimpse of the new Seraphon Warband with a stunning new Chameleon skink. While Beastgrave has been a bit hit and miss, Direchasm is shaping up to be one of my favourite seasons, especially if you just include the revealed Warband selection alone. Canny viewers have also noted the card number for Direchasm is 500. What does this mean? Well, more cards, obviously. The issue is how that's going to be implemented, but that's something we'll have to wait and see. Arena Mortis was also revealed to much shock and surprise as our September multiplayer box set. While I'm looking forward to see what this brings to Warhammer Underworlds, I hope the price isn't too much, as previously the board pack alone was £15, the last card expansion for Night Vault was £12.50 for 60 cards. I feel Arena Mortis will either live or die based on its price point, especially if it's £35 or more. Also, releasing a multiplayer expansion during a global pandemic where people are generally still self-isolating is dubious, but that's totally outside of Games Workshop's control. I don't hold it against them, but it is something worth bringing up. The box art does look good though. For Warhammer Underworlds Online, this month saw the release of a new warband, the Eyes of the Nine, along with a new cosmetic gaming environment. To some confusion and delight, Tzeentch is chosen and released into the online mirrored city. As the game is still centered mainly in Shadespire, some viewers will be aware of the lack of magic. Steel Sky Productions addressed this by releasing an interesting selection of magic cards to bolster the heavy magic usage of the Eyes of the Nine warband. These cards are Soul Drain, Segat Salvo, Sphere Vizier, Sorceress Riposte, Arcane Transposition, Arcane Shield, and Abasoft's Unmaking. For objectives, we have Arcane Torrent, Magical Storm, and Sorceress Scouring. While some of these cards are useful, a lot are not. Still, it's not a great sign to see this warband drop with the specific universal card pack just to give them a fighting chance. While I'm really happy to see the Eyes of the Nine, I would have loved to see Garrux Reavers or even the Godsworn Hunt, as they fit really nicely into the current Warhammer Underworlds online environment. Still, the new Warbands edition highlights the need for a restricted list, as even with these new magic cards, the Eyes of the Nine still struggle to do well. On a more positive note, Steel Sky Productions have tidied up the animations for magic in general and made it much more graphically appealing. The animations and models, in particular for the Eyes of the Nine, are truly some great work. As a follower of Tzeentch myself, it pleases me to no end for finally being able to see a lot of the new Tzeentch miniatures finally moving and animated fully. Podcast Corner is back for August with a packed month of audio content. After Glory have a stunning 5 podcasts this month. There's a lot of content to cover, but they continue with their current series of individual warband focuses, featuring members of the community, along with general in-depth topics of interest related to Warhammer Underworlds, from the new warbands to a great highlight of the Alliance Tournament team format. Battle for Salvation are back again, with their 29th episode going over the Warhammer Underworlds roadmap, a tournament they attended, as well as their favourite universal cards from the new Warband expansions. Battle Mallet released a podcast focusing on Morgok's Krushas and their Morgwaeth's Blade-Coven decks that they have come up with, along with a review of the universal cards from the latest Warband expansions. Steel City Underworlds released a new podcast series called Critbait, in which Tom and Michael take opposing viewpoints in arguing for and against a certain topic, with this episode focusing on Temporary Victory, along with guest Davey Calkins from their What the Hex podcast show. Finally, there's me with Critcast episode 4, Hold Objective Play, where I talk with my guest Rob Gilmore from Reading all about the Hold Objective playstyle. We go over card selection, positioning, and warband choice for an in-depth 90-minute podcast. It's a long one, but it contains all our collected knowledge and experience on the now popular Warhammer Underworlds playstyle. For August tournament and events, we have the monthly Warhammer Underworlds webcam tournament hosted over Zoom by the Straight Outta Shadespire guys with the new warbands and cards. This time there were 10 players with 9 unique warbands, down on last month's 12, but that's still a good turnout. After 4 tough rounds, the Thorns of the Briar Queen put an end to the rampaging aggro Grimwatch to take their first place crown. As always, you can watch these tournaments live for free on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/CannyRollerCrit. The September tournament will be held later in September, but the date is waiting to be solidified. Despite the lower turnout, the tournament had a later starting time, meaning we had some Americans joining in the action, which is great because the webcam tournaments are attracting people from all over the world just to play some Warhammer Underworlds in an organised format. Vassal is back with their first skirmish clash. It only had 16 players, but had more rounds to compensate for the lack of best of 3 games as it was best of 1 format. In the end, Benny proved triumphant with his Stormsize Cursebreakers as they went on to win undefeated. No tournaments for Warhammer Underworlds Online, but the game continues with Path to Glory's monthly Warhammer Underworlds Online League, where you can drop in and out for some regular Warhammer Underworlds online competitive action. August was very busy for me. It saw the release of my articles on the supply drop, Morgok's Krushas and Morgwaeth's Blade-Coven, my playtesting update, Critcast Episode 4 Hold Objective Play, and finally on my article about what you can use to represent war counters. On my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/CanYouRollACrit, I streamed multiple webcam games, Warhammer Underworlds online games, as well as my new hobby stream, which was a lot of fun. YouTube saw me release 5 new videos, including this one. They are mainly new battle reports using my new recording setup to offer you high quality competitive games, as well as one video showcasing my time with Eyes of the Nine in Warhammer Underworlds Online. Once again, we've had another packed month for Warhammer Underworlds, a supply drop, new warbands, and a glimpse at what Season 4 will offer. September will see Arena Mortis drop and complete the card collection for Beastgrave. Things will be slowing down again, but I'm sure the Warhammer Underworlds community will keep the game alive and kicking as they always do. Before I go, please feel free to check out my affiliate link to Element Games in the episode description. Any purchases you make after clicking through the link help support myself and the channel to help bring you high quality content, along with being at no additional cost to yourself, while also granting you a 15 to 25% discount on all things Warhammer Underworlds and hobby related, such as the brand new Warbands. So until we fight in the Arena Mortis in the cold month of September, always ask yourself, can you roll a crit?